Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, talking all things professional wrestling, all the, action inside and outside of the ring, all the superstar rumors, all the promotional rumors, anything basically you can wrap your head around the wrestling industry. We talk about here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. And we also love your guys' feedback. Make sure you hit up the chat link. Tell me exactly anything that's on your mind. Give me a shout out of where you're listening from. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, all that jazz, and a bag of chips. It is Wednesday, as my brother like to call it, Hump Day. Don't get too excited, don't get crazy, guys. No, just like Monday, Tuesday. You're at Wednesday, you're ready to kind of, Thursday, Friday, and of course, like those who do actually have the weekend off, get to, enjoy time with their family, have some self-care stuff, whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. I usually throw myself in the river and go with the flow, but that's just me. So thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today on tap. We have our NXT review. We also have our AEW Blood and Guts preview. We're going to talk a little bit about Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. We're going to preview that pay-per-view happening on Friday, and then we're going to dig into The Biggest Loser. I'm going to talk about the top 10 WWE superstars who have had, bad luck within the last couple of years, within the promotion and stuff like that. So we're going to cover that and maybe give some advice of maybe what they can do to kind of turn their careers around. And then fifth and final segment, every Wednesday, I give you guys my weekly wrestling news roundup where, I'll give you guys some wrestling feedback just to kind of get you through the midweek and before we get into Thursday and Friday. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me some of your rumors. Give me some of your news roundups. Give me some of your opinions. Obviously, it means a lot for the audience to have a lot of engagement in the show. Other than that, I'm just up here babbling on like an idiot Monday through Friday. So don't make me do it. Don't make me do. I'm just kidding. No, I don't mind talking. You know what I mean? Like, I do talk a lot. I got to be honest. Like, even to my friends, sometimes they ghost my text messages and stuff like that. I know you're watching. I know you do it. Don't lie. No, I'm just kidding. So to be a part of the show, make sure you hit up the tips and donations link. Hit up the chat. Tell me how you feel. Once again, it really does leave it a positive mark, guys. Honestly, here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. 1,010% of the time, absolutely. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Most importantly, let's have fun. Let's talk about some wrestling. I kind of take this show as you're kind of chilling out. You go sit down at a sports bar, and instead of basketball, baseball, hockey, football being on TV, something you never really see is professional wrestling on, which is kind of a damn shame, to be honest, because professional wrestling has been mainstream. Professional wrestling has been popular since forever, to be honest. I know sometimes Dave and Buster's and sometimes places do have like big main event, like pay-per-view, like watch parties and stuff like that. But, just imagine like you're sitting at a bar stool, hanging out, having a couple beers with your friends, and then, sit down next to a guy who, loves to talk wrestling just like you do. So, don't be afraid to, give me a comment, state an opinion. Tell me how you feel about certain things. Tell me what you want to see and stuff like that. And once again, hit up the tips and donations link. Much appreciated at the GSMCpodcast.net. So let's go to divvy on into our NXT review. It was a pretty good one, to be honest. We had Trick Williams coming out. Of course, Trick Williams is going to come out. Of course, Trick Williams, after everything, I still feel like he is a huge face for NXT. Kind of, it's kind of ironic, to be honest. Throughout his whole tenure in NXT, he's kind of been a homegrown WWE superstar. Well, all wrestlers dabble on into like other independent circuits and stuff like that. And then the person, that mostly, that gets attention is, superstars that have a big audience, name, image, and likeness kind of surrounding their character. And, once when Ethan Page, from AEW came, you're like, you know what? I know something big's going to happen. I know Ethan Page is definitely going to, Definitely going to be a big mark on, WWE NXT. I got a chat from my man, CWN McDonald. Hi. What's up, man? Hope y'all doing well. Can I keep you posted on? Oh, dude, absolutely. Hell yeah. Please do. That would be awesome. If you have a podcast or a show, let me know. I love watching and listening to podcasts, 1010%. Obviously, let me know some, way I can get better, 1010%. So, back to NXT, I feel for Trick Williams. I love Trick Williams. The way he represented the title so well was, now it's kind of a thing in the past. I really highly doubt that they're going to put the belt back on Trick Williams and WWE. Oh, absolutely. Let me know WWE news. Please give me your comments, questions. I love it. 1010%. CWN McDonald. Love that name, by the way. Pretty awesome. Yeah, NXT. And then we have Josh Briggs being attacked by Brooks Jensen. The match was originally, I was supposed to start, naturally, but, you saw Brooks Jensen start off with the upper hand. Then you saw it shift to Brooks. Brooks was chokeslammed through the announce table. It was so funny. Like, you saw the announcer, like Vic Joseph, kind of up on the barricade, like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't want any part of this. I definitely thought that was funny as hell. So, but then, of course, you had to have him come in. AEW Shawn Spears, Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10 from WWE NXT. I knew he was going to get involved. Absolutely, pissed off. I hated that he got involved, to be honest. But, he distracts Josh Briggs long enough for Brooks Jensen to pick up the dub. Knew that they were going to finally, they're in cahoots, they're in collusion. But then again, I feel like Shawn Spears is just like that, that dark, demonic kind of type. Wouldn't surprise me, like, if they kind of change his persona into somebody a little more demonic and, a little bit more, high tone and stuff like that. But, at the end of the match, you saw Brooks Jensen beat out his former tag team partner and the guy who stuck his nose out for him, for general manager Ava. You saw Brooks Jensen pick up the win against Josh Briggs. Good for Josh Briggs. At the same time, good for Brooks Jensen, but oh my God, I just wanted Josh Briggs to win, to be honest. Highly biased, definitely 1010%. So moving on, now we have we saw a promo, we saw the NXT Tag Team Champions challenged by the Rascalz. Wesley's looking good. Wesley's looking severely good. He's looking happy. He's looking excited, very enthusiastic, charismatic. And, he's just comfortable. He's just so comfortable around Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, and they're so damn good together. Their main event match was, oh my God, an instant classic. One of the best main events I've seen in a long time, but we'll dig into that once when it, comes around. So they had to find a partner. They eventually found, NXT's rising star, Javon Evans, the young OG. He's bouncy. He's bouncy indeed. And he ended up teaming up with them, but, we'll get into that a little later. Lexus King, took on Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe got a big win for Eddie Thorpe. 1010%, I think, when he returned back to WWE NXT, there was a little bit of a, does this guy really fit? Like, is this guy maybe a little bit, old news? Can he really fit into an NXT brand where you recently left Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, also, Lara Valkyria, and then you also now have Trick Williams, Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Wes Lee, Obafemi, Chase U. Like, it's hard to make it in WWE. 1010%. Professional wrestling is it's a huge cutthroat industry. I knew a couple of guys that dabbled in professional wrestling. Heard some pretty awesome stories. I know a guy. I'm not gonna name him. I'm not gonna get all crazy. But he once wrestled the Big Show. He was a jobber, and he said, working at WWE, it was pretty cool, but it's very hard to kind of get your name out there and stuff like that. CWM McDonald. Do you see Alexa Bliss and Roman returning at SummerSlam? I see Alexa. I can see Alexa probably more or less so than Roman Reigns, mostly because I still feel like Solo Sikoa needs to establish more credibility. He needs to establish more wins because as of right now, he's not really that impressive. Like, despite having the guys surrounded by, because, Roman Reigns before he was, overall accompanied by Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa as his enforcer, and before he had Paul Heyman, he had some sort of success. So when he had the belt, people were like, "Oh, even if there's no interference in the match, Roman Reigns can pick up the dub. But Solo Sikoa is solamente, relying on this interference. He's solamente, relying on his bloodline to get him to get him wins. Roman Reigns, maybe in a cameo, I can see him like maybe kind of, because it's been a long time. It's been since April since he's been in the WWE ring, but, you also don't want to force it. I still think that, obviously Survivor Series is in November and it's going to be pretty big. And now you're going to have your first ever Bash at Berlin for WWE after SummerSlam. So there needs to be something to give. I could see maybe Solo Sikoa losing the match at SummerSlam against Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns, no, losing against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. But I think Roman Reigns is going to come out. I think Roman Reigns is going to shock the world and shock the bloodline to distract Solo Sikoa long enough for Cody Rhodes to hit the crossroads, get that dub. You're going to have Randy Orton, Kevin Owens on the ringside, Jacob Fatu. You're going to see Tamatonga and Tungaloa on the sideline. And then, once when all hope is lost, you're going to see Roman Reigns come out, put Solo Sikoa on blast, maybe having a match one-on-one at Bash at Berlin at the end of August. Then you have October, September, November, building up momentum toward like a Survivor Series, a Bloodline Civil War. But of course, that would be, that's what 1,010%. CM McDonald, listen, I think Roman does return at SummerSlam and faces Solo face to face, and maybe they're hiding it in that, there is The Rock. There definitely is The Rock. I think The Rock is definitely pulling the strings behind this young bloodline, and I think it's going to surface probably at Survivor Series. I feel like Roman Reigns is going to go in confident, have teammates like Jimmy, Jay, The Rock, probably maybe the honorary Uce or maybe Hikuleo, and then they're going to take on the bloodline or something like that. And then, once when, The Rock is going to turn his back on, Roman Reigns, and then that's going to be that. So, that's how I feel like it's all going to, come out. But it would be so electric if he did, come back at us at WWE SummerSlam. So, like I said, for NXT, you saw, Eddie Thorpe pick up the victory. Then you saw Alexis King get pissed off, tacked and smashed the fingers of Eddie Thorpe. Ooh, the sound of the shillelagh on the steel steps just echo through the arena. I, feel for Eddie Thorpe. Definitely think he's going to be out of action maybe for the week. Or he's going to wrestle with a bump hand. Like, Wrestlers do that all the freaking time. So it should be, it should be pretty crazy. Should be interesting. Then you see a promo where you saw Trick Williams wanting to take a rematch, wanting to get his hands on Ethan Page, but Ethan Page isn't so fond on, having, wanting to face Trick Williams right off the bat. Trick Williams will get his shot. He'll get his shot face to face with Ethan Page once again. But, moving on forward, I don't think it's, I like Trick Williams as a champion. I really, really do. And I've kind of, excelled that here. Exacerbated that on the podcast, but just when Ethan Page has the championship and the title, it just, makes for pretty good TV, 1,010%. Then we see Oro Mensah defeat Ashante Adonis. And it was, honestly, Oro Mensah, super impressive. He pinned Ethan Page for the second time. Carly Bright was defeated by Ren Sinclair. You saw Trick Williams defeat Cedric Alexander in the Thea Hail interview. You saw, she basically said how she'd grown with Chase U. The whole, she kind of hit to that, like the dark times in her life, teaming with and kind of idolizing JC Jane and being in that little fandom and stuff like that. But, I'm proud of Thea Hail. I think she's going to do great. I definitely think she's a positive influence on the locker room in terms of WWE NXT. And then you saw Soruka and Carmen Petrovic lose against Last Legend and Miss Jackson. They have a match. They have a match at WWE NXT Bash at the Beach against Dawn and Fire for the WWE Women's World Tag Team Champions. I love that. Joe Henry announces that he's going to have an in-ring performance next week at Great American Bash. Gallus has, they had the add-on for Joe Henry, and they're going to fight next week. Or, then you have the main event. Amazing. One of the best main events in NXT. Honestly, that's how I feel. the Rascalz against Axiom, Fraser, and Evans. It was such a great match, and the best part of the match was just it was built on absolute, character, respect, not really trying to, pull out any bad moves or anything like that. It was some good old fashioned wrestling, and I thought, it was pretty great. It was pretty great. Like I said before, Wesley, Trey Miguel, and Zachary Wentz just looks like they're unstoppable at this point. They look unstoppable. No doubt in my mind that they're going to challenge Fraser and Axiom for the WWE NXT titles in the future. All right, guys. Well, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our second segment. We're going to talk about our AEW Blood and Guts preview. So, hey, do not touch that dial. Grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite drink, and join me in about maybe like 20 seconds.